joining me. Hope you're having a good day. We are continuing our playthrough of Ultimate General Civil War. We have moved on to the Maryland campaign. We just finished the Battle of Chantilly, and now we are moving on to the Battle of Harpers Ferry. The last battle for the Confederacy before the Battle of Antietam. Now, it says Weapons Factory. This is actually technically the Battle of Harpers Ferry. Actually, technically, if you want to get very specific about it, it's more like the Battle of Boulevard Heights, which is just outside of Harpers Ferry. It's really where the actual battle took place. If you even want to call it a battle. It was more or less, we're just going to surround the Union and force them to surrender. It's a little bit more to it than just that. Few minor skirmishes, but that's essentially what happened at Harpers Ferry. So the Union got surrounded on all sides. The heights overlooking the city were pretty much completely Confederate controlled, and the general in charge surrendered. Well, technically he surrendered. He actually was killed right before the Union officially surrendered. And actually, it was the largest surrender of any American force up into the Battle of the Philippines in World War II. About 12,000 men surrendered at Harpers Ferry, which again was the largest of the Civil War and up into World War II. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to play this battle really quick. We did fill out our army last time. I did make a few changes, like I did up the amount of howitzers we had in this one. I noticed it was still at 8, so we went ahead, bought the rest, and made it 11. Did that off screen, but it's not too big of a deal. We're not going to be using that core for this battle anyway. So, Harpers Ferry is home to a major federal arsenal whose military production facilities could enrich our weaponry with rifles and ammunition. You have been ordered to advance, seize Harpers Ferry, and capture those facilities. The Federal Guard is marching to the heights out of the town to prepare its defense and block your advance. Move swiftly, crush the Harpers Ferry Guard, and clear the way for the town. Clear the way to the town. Alright. We are, like I said, going to bring our second corps. We can bring 12 battalions or brigades out of our second corps. Mostly going to be infantry. We might bring one of our cavalry units. You've been ordered to advance, seize Harpers Ferry, and capture the Federal Weapons Factory. The guard of Harpers Ferry has left the town and captured these heights to halt our advance. Capture the heights and clear the way to Harpers Ferry. Yeah, very straightforward and to the point. So as always, we're going to go ahead and just get rid of everybody. We are going to use, of course, our 3rd Division first before we go with anything else. We will go ahead and keep the 1st and 2nd Division guns though. Like I said, I think I do want to bring... Do I want to bring some cavalry? Usually there's like some guns out here we could always charge down, but it's not necessary, so I guess maybe we won't. I don't know, we'll see in a minute. I don't want to bring the 1st Corps. We do have some positions. I think I will bring my snipers. You know what? If we do get some opportunities, I guess we can bring some cavalry. Just in case we get the opportunity to maybe take some of the guns. Maybe some supplies if they're putzing around out there. So, let's go ahead, start the battle. Okay, so these are all my 3rd Division troops. Get them moving. What I like to do, I have a tendency to just move everybody. It takes a little bit longer, but I have a tendency to just move everybody up the flank here. Or at least most of my forces up the flank. Like I said, it takes a little bit longer, but I feel like it's a better way to go about this battle than trying to climb the heights, the uphill. Plus, you can get into these woods. There's not as much Union forces up in the woods, if any, usually. So usually it's much easier going if you were to do it this way. But like I said, it does take a little bit more time. And we'll get the cavalry up here, just to make sure nobody surprises us. Alright, that should be good enough. Everybody's moving. Let's go ahead, we're just going to quickly fast forward. Typically you can move up here without being seen too. Just because this takes place so early in the morning, there's darkness, there's all these hills which are hard to tell. You can see it's quite hilly through here. So you can pretty much go virtually unseen if you just sort of flank around the rear here, rather than just walking up these into this area. You know, moving my snipers forward, see if they can't see anything, get some shots on anything. Probably too far out, yeah, way outside of their engagement range. We will, however, go ahead and move our guns up. I wasn't thinking, I should have probably taken something other than the howitzers, because they are such short-range weapons. Alright, now that we're getting fairly close, we can start organizing this assault a little bit more thoughtfully. Although, more than likely we'll probably end up changing these positions on the fly. Cool. Where's Gordon? I think him will just keep back here as a defense for the guns for now. Move our cavalry up. What we'll do is, I know the Union has some cavalry, we'll put some skirmishers in the rear here just to make sure nobody comes sneaking around us. Run these guys, see if they can't, because they just got seen, and get them into position before the Union can react. And then we're just going to sort of leapfrog these guys forward while we wait for the 3rd Division to come in. They're really going to be the ones that we're going to spearhead and try and break these guys. Somehow Armistead isn't blocking Preston. Yeah, I think he did just block him. Really weird that they could stack up like that. Typically you don't see that. I remember if we gave them Whitworths or we ended up having to go with Hunters. I'm think there was a bit debate before the second Manassas whether I was going to go with Hunters or Whitworth with them. Get Barksdale up there to put some fire on that gun battery. Ooh, Schultz, get back into the woods. I think that leapfrogging maneuver may have worked, but now they has them all stacked up here. We're gonna have to go ahead and spread out all our forces here. As we sort of moving forward to try and take the position, or this single position. This Harpers Ferry Heights, I think this is technically supposed to represent Boulevard Heights. Again, these maps for these side missions aren't entirely the most accurate things. If I can't sneak up my cavalry. It's hard to tell if they have any infantry. This is definitely where they have all the guns, but it's hard to tell if they have any infantry support. We haven't quite been able to see much of the enemy yet. We gotta move far enough ahead though to take that position. Alright, so we've totally obliterated one of the gun batteries. Nope. Well, that's a trap right there. They do have all their infantry stacked down there. Wonder if we can't sneak up some of our snipers to get some shots on their rear. So yeah, they're still concealed where they're at. So we'll just leave them down in this sort of gully here and see if we can't get some pot shots. Now that we're taking the heights, it's really, again, one of these battles where it's just a waiting game. I don't think the Union's going to be able to... Typically, the computer isn't very aggressive in this battle. I'm not sure why. I've never really fought this battle and seen the computer actually give me a hard time about anything. Watch, this will be the one time that they actually do. And they'll make a liar out of me. Yeah, that's what I thought. We're going to have to move. If we want the howitzers to do anything against these guys, we're going to have to move them forward. How much I love getting these flanking shots in. If they can't even shoot, there's no point. So we're just going to micromanage our snipers here and wait for the battle to end, really. In fact, we might just go ahead and fast forward it. Only pausing to micromanage. It is unfortunate we did just lose our general in charge, or colonel. I wasn't sure what he was. At least he's not dead. And yeah, it looks like the Union has pretty much given up position on the field. Yeah, this is a very interesting use of the maps. Again, as I said, I believe this is technically the Chattanooga map that you see later in the game, or at least part of it. But it does also give you sort of the feel of what Harper's Ferry kind of looks like. in a way. Harpers Ferry would sort of juts out like this on the map, but it's also a meeting point of several different rivers. And then you have heights on all sides and so on and so forth. So it's very interesting. It's a beautiful location if you've never been. I definitely recommend going to Harpers Ferry. Not only just for the history, but again, just for the beauty of the town. Especially during the fall, it's great. It's beautiful. And that's the end of the fight, so we're just going to end it there. We only lost 600, about 700 men. Again, we only caused 1,700, but again, this is usually a very quick battle. A lot of these side missions at the beginning of the game are, but this one very quick. And honestly, yeah, we didn't get many goods out of it, but I'm fine with that. I'd rather take the only 600 casualties. That's actually one of my, I think one of the better goes of it I've ever had. I think 600, only 700 men, pretty good, if I don't say so myself. Curious whether I should even use veterans to get these guys back up, but we will. They are the first brigades. So, we'll keep them veteran for now. It's not going to cost us too much. Yeah, everybody else are rookies. I don't want to spend a lot of gold. I want to use that to put out my third corps. Like we should. What did I say I was going to put it in? Was it medicine or economy, I said? What did I do last time? Was it medicine I put it in? I think I put it in medicine last time. Do I want to put it in an army organization, give my men more brigade size? Or do I just want to go with economy and try and give them as many of my forces better weapons as possible? Interesting. Oh, of course, Antietam is a very long battle too, so maybe even logistics might be a good way to go, trying to give them more ammo. That way we don't have to use as much money giving all my corps ammunition. Because the way I want to use the third corps, they're going to need ammunition. But then again, having a lot of bodies to throw at the enemy with the third corps might be a good way to go about it as well. Because essentially what I plan on doing is actually having the third corps, even though they're green, hold our left flank, whereas the first corps is going to hold the center, just in case they do need help. We can always shift forces north, and then have the second corps hold the right flank. Or maybe I'll just do second corps on the left, first in the middle, third on the right. Seeing as the right doesn't tend to honestly get too badly beaten up, I think that might actually be the best way to go about it. Just have the first corps in the center, third on the right. So yeah, let's go ahead and we're gonna go. We're all gonna take a lot of casualties too, so maybe medicine might be a good. Oh, this is actually kind of a tough decision, because Antietam is one of those turning point battles where it's hard to recover from if you take too many casualties. But also ammo could always become a problem, and that's what I'm sort of worried about. I think getting 10% of all my losses back, let's say we take 1,000 or 20,000 losses, that's 2,000 troops I get back. That's essentially how you have to look at it. Which is an easier pill to swallow a little bit, because that'd be like 18,000. Not saying we're going to take 20,000. Hopefully we don't take 20,000. That'd be losing like a third of our whole army, I believe. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go medicine. We're locked in. Can't change it now. We are going to lower him down to 20,000, bring him up to a whole 30. And we're not going to go too crazy. We're going to give them supplies because they're going to need it. We'll bring him up to 1,000. Alright, let's go ahead and finish filling out the rest of the core like I said I was going to do.
Yes, sir.
We are going to need to put somebody in charge. I guess the lieutenant colonel will be okay for 1,700 men. Give me a little bit. I think everybody else is going to be okay. He couldn't go up all the way. They actually got a promotion, which is going to be nice. They did lose a few troops. A few horses. Okay. I don't think any of my guns lost any men. No. Okay, so second corps filled out, first corps filled out. Now we're moving on finally to our third corps. And we're going to go ahead see about getting these guys in a good position to maybe be somewhat effective in this next battle. And of course these guys got promotions. Did they lose any men? No. No. Okay. Now, these guys are going to be rookies, and we're going to go ahead and just upgrade them all the way to 2,000. Like I said, until we unlock a fourth corps, which wouldn't be until we fill out a third corps, where am I going to worry about giving these guys veteran units? It's usually how I do it. It works out pretty well for me. We are going to have to hire some generals, though. And I don't like putting colonels in charge of entire divisions. So, you know what? Robert Rhodes has been in our pool for a little while. We'll go ahead, create a new division with him. Create a new infantry brigade. Lieutenant colonels will be just fine.
Sir, yes, sir!
For these purposes. We don't really have a lot. Let's see if we can't. I think everybody in my first brigade has Enfields right now, yes. Let's take a look at our armory. Let's just go here. See what we can do. Actually, that's a fair point. God dang. I think we have to start buying. I mean, the Fayetteville's I'm not too worried about buying up, but we really want to start buying up some of these Henrys so we can eventually equip a whole brigade with Henry rifles. Which, the Henry isn't the greatest weapon. Obviously, it's very quick on the reload. You can get a lot of fire off. Better for a defensive unit, to be perfectly honest. But I do like having them, so we are going to purchase them. But that's it for now. Now we are going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and sell off 294 of these. Just give us some extra money. That way we still have 500 in the pool for if and when we want to buy a skirmisher unit. We do have enough to equip an entire cavalry unit in our 3rd Brigade, at least with some Colts. And we don't really have anything we can sell, although we do have a pretty good amount of artillery to start filling out some units in our 3rd Corps, some artillery units. But first of all, let's go ahead and do this actually. Let's get in line with how we usually build our corps. Again, Lieutenant Colonel. You know what? Let's very quickly.
Yes,
Let's just do that for now. I did say though I wanted to look into buying some more weapons for these gentlemen. How much? So we do have enough to buy some Enfields. That's probably all we're going to be able to get away with. So that only leaves us 15,000, which I don't believe is going to be enough to get us 2,000 of anything. Or up to 2,000, let's see. Maybe we can buy, I guess we really wouldn't need 2,000, we would need 1,750, right? So to get us up to 1,750 for Lorenz, we would need, oh, quick mental math, 1,107 Lorenz rifles, which we just don't have enough money for. But we might have enough. So we would need, again, quick math, what, 3,500, so we would need 1,044, which again, we just don't have enough money for to do 2 more brigades. Ugh. What if we were to sell the palmettos? Or do we just want to, no, we don't even have enough palmettos. So yeah, let's go ahead and sell the palmettos. It might give us enough so we can buy, what did I say, 1,144? See if I did my mental math right. No. Wow, that was a little off. I wanted 3,500 because that would be enough to equip 2 units. That doesn't leave us, well, we can play around with some stuff as we fill out. So anyway, let's see. Oh, let's go to this unit. They already have Mississippi's, they have Lorenz, Mississippi, Springfields. That's what I was looking for. And where did the Mississippis go? There we go. Give them Mississippi's. He has Lorenz, he has Springfields. And give him Mississippi. So what we can do now, I bought too many Mississippi's. See, I need some money. Oh, we have, I forgot about the Harpers Ferries. We can give some of our units Harpers Ferries, can't we? There we go. Of course, it's not quite enough to fill out a whole unit for Harpers Ferries, though. We don't even have enough in the shop. Could also, no, we don't even have enough Richmonds to be able to equip a 1,750 man. So I could get Richmonds and give it to one of these corps, but that's kind of, I don't know about that. So what do? We just pass down some Enfield. So Enfield. Alright, so all the first brigades will have Enfields in this corps. And then again, we just pass down some Mississippis so we can give them Mississippis. So we just passed down quite a bit of Springfields. We're not going to be able to get a full corps out of this. I was really hoping we would, but that's not going to happen. We are going to probably still have to play around with selling some weapons if we want to do this. So you know what? I don't think we're ever going to be able to field any Texas Tailors. I know I tried earlier to buy some, but I just don't think that's in the cards. So let's sell them. I really don't want to sell off any Lorenz. Let's sell off these Smiths. At this point, I'm wondering if I'm ever going to equip anybody with Whitworths, at least the scoped ones. We'll hold on to them for now. And I really don't want to sell off any Lorenz. Let's see. I know we're at least going to be able to get. You know what? We may just have to put a major in charge. Oh, that's going to be terrible too. You know what? Let's bring down this to 5,000. I just remembered, if we are even fill out a second division, we're going to need to be able to get a third corps, or a third division, which we're going to have to put somebody in charge of that. Alright. Let's play around with what we got, at least. Just try and field as many men as possible, essentially, is what we're trying to do. So, another infantry brigade. So we're able to add 2 more infantry brigades. Okay. We have artillery. We do have a 500 sharps. We can field a skirmisher unit. It's always a help. It's always helpful. We also do have. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to do this. We do have enough to field a cavalry unit. But the question is, do we want to continue or do we want to leave it at that? Because if we want to continue, because we do have a lot of artillery just sitting. Although we could add some, make these guys both 12-gun batteries, so let's go ahead and do that. We are going to have to use rookies. Kind of unfortunate, I don't like doing that with artillery, but it'll be fine, I think. Yep, so we'll go ahead and make both of those 12-gun batteries. Yeah, I think that's how we're going to have to do it. That definitely changes my plans. Like I said, I originally wanted them to... Although the enemy does take, what, 15% less army size for Antietam because we won all the battles leading up to it, so that's going to be good. Let's see how much we're actually going to have to field. As I said, put the first corps in the center, second on our left, and the third on our right. That gives us 62,000 troops, which is actually relatively, if I'm not mistaken, that's actually relatively in line with how many troops Lee actually had at the Battle of Antietam. So I'm okay with that. I usually field a little bit more by this point. I sort of built my army a little bit differently than I usually do, which is what I like doing throughout every playthrough. Not so much my army that I'm changing up that much, it's the like how I'm allocating my career points. I did go very heavy into army organization pretty early on, rather than like economy and medicine and training, which I tend to do a little bit more heavily on other than army organization. Usually by Antietam I'm only at like usually 4 or 5 army organization. But I wanted to play around with like bigger divisions this time around. So we'll see how that works out for us. I don't know. I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be fine. I mean, obviously, if you see the next episode gets posted, and it's Antietam, although Antietam's usually a bit of a longer battle, it's probably going to be split up into at least 2, possibly even 3 videos. But know, if you see them start getting posted, that we obviously win. Because I'm not going to post anything that we lose. Because that's no fun. But thank you all for watching and my continued rambling. I know that's becoming a thing as of late. But I appreciate it if you do stick around. And yeah, everyone, have a good one.